Boy, let me just start this episode by saying this episode was filled with revelations, all the way down to the very last scene, basically. We had questions answered, which I love. We understand why Bojji is so weak now. We understand why Boss did what he did in the previous episode. We have an understanding of why Domas did what he did. And we finally have an answer for Bebin. So let's get right into Ranking of Kings EP.8, because this is quite a good episode. So let's just hop right into it. Alright, so we kind of get a bit of backstory on Boss here, and how do I put this? He's kind of an asshole. He's kind of messed up if you think about it. Because now we finally have an understanding of why Bojji is so weak. You see, we've known this for a while, that he has no physical strength. And it's been alluding to the fact that, his physical strength was taken. But now we know why. It turns out earlier in the series, before all the events were happening, Boss made a deal with that demon, with Lady Marginor, with him. So she's been with him the whole time, which is another interesting fact. But he made a deal with the demon we saw in the previous episode, that he wanted to become the strongest man in the world. And the demon tells him, I can't give you a power that does not exist, but I can take it from your relatives. I can take it from your family. And of course, Boss didn't have a family at the time. Until the demon says, well, I can take it from your children, one of your offspring. So he literally goes out, finds the strongest woman in the world, and has a baby with her. And you see, he had his ulterior motives, but you can see that he did have feelings for her. They were developing a romance in a way, but his ulterior motives were the same. And he's actually on a battlefield in this episode, and then all of a sudden, he gains this otherworldly strength. So he knows his child was born. And I just gotta say, that's really messed up, man. He literally had Bojji just to steal his strength from him. He literally just made the kid just so he could essentially just ruin his life in a way by stealing his abilities from him. And that's pretty messed up. You got to think, Boss must have been super desperate in that instance. He must have really wanted to be the strongest in the world, because that's such a scumbag move to do. And you can see he regrets it a bit. At least in the flashback that we got earlier, you can tell that it did affect him, but he kept moving forward. And like I mentioned earlier, we saw that Lady Maranjo, was with him from the beginning. So that begs the question, how did they meet? What's their relationship, Because to me, it seems like she's been in the background the whole series, pulling these strings, and this episode definitely alludes to that as well. But yeah, like I said, we got a little bit of info on how Boss became the strongest, at least physically, in the entire world. And man, it's really unfortunate. You would think your parents wouldn't do something like that to you, but just right from the beginning, Bojji just was dealt a terrible hand in life. And it's really just unfortunate. It makes you sad. But we actually had a lot in this episode besides that. Like I said, we found out why Boss did what he did. But then we get a little more backstory into Domas and Hokuro, because they're having a discussion in the room about this. And you can tell Domas is regretting what he did. He does regret it. Tungsten, he's there beating himself up. He actually patched Hokuro up from the previous episode, because he could have killed him right there. But no, he patched him up for some reason, because he feels guilty. you know? And Hokuro confronts him, like, why would you do something like this? Who ordered you to do that? And it was revealed that it was Daida that ordered him to do that, who was ordered to do that from Lady Maringer. So, again, just leads more credit to she's really the mastermind behind everything so far, pulling all these strings. And you can just see Domas is conflicted, you know? Him and Hokuro actually have a confrontation right there where he almost kills him again. But Hokuro says, if I don't go back and tell them what happened to Bojji, what was his life for? What was the meaning of his life if I can't give solace to the people that care about him? And that hits hard, man. Because Bojji's had such a hard life. He has so few people that actually care about him. So when he does eventually go back and report it to Queen Hilling, she has a complete breakdown and literally orders him to be executed on the spot. Kind of an overreaction, but if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. That's her child right there that she found out is allegedly dead. So yeah, he's apparently going to be executed. But before we get into that, we got to talk about a scene with Lady Maringer and King Boss, not Daida anymore. Yeah. So like I said earlier, we now know why King Boss did what he did. We know how he did it. And his transfer into Daida's body was successful. Daida is apparently no more, and Boss took over his body. So now he is back. Daida is gone. And Lady Maringer, or Maranjo, actually wants to kill Queen Hilling now. She asked Boss, like, is it okay now for me to set up an execution for her? Because apparently they had a deal back in the day about this, which is suspicious. It just, again, leads more to the theory that Lady Maringer is really the mastermind behind everything so far, because she's pulling all these strings. She's involved in all these shady things. So she asked King Boss if it's all right to assassinate her, and he agrees. Which, man, this what a turnaround they did on Boss's character, man. They really built him up to be some noble dude, but everything he's done has been like shady and kind of underhanded, you know? He not only stole from his child, he built a kingdom on false promises. And now he wants to kill his new wife. It's really a head scratcher. Like, was he ever really a good guy? And, you know, he was someone who was determined to make his dreams come true no matter what. And I feel like we all can agree on that. We all feel that way. But I don't know. It's just, he's really turning out to be kind of a monster. Which is kind of crazy. Because like I said, they built him up to be this all-inspiring person. But no, allegedly not. Alright, so now we're going to go over to Hokuro's execution. Like I said, Queen Hilling wanted him to be executed. And he is. He certainly is. He's up on a stake and all that. They're going to spear him. But Domas actually comes back. Hokuro's words actually did reach him, showing that he does feel remorse for it. Which, to be fair, he does. You know, he did the heinous thing to begin with, but we saw in previous episodes that he did have a close bond with Bojji. So he's kind of second guessing himself, you know? So he actually tries to rescue Hokuro, and he would be pretty successful, honestly. I'd argue he would have done it if King Boss didn't come and intervene. Who deduces that it's Domas and exposes him to everyone there. And then he whispers something into his ear, which is curious, because King Boss is clearly up to something now as well. Because he whispers something into Domas's ear, and let's just say it's a little different, because he actually wants him to destroy the underground little layer that's under the castle that they use to make Boss, or to take Daida's body over. He wants them to go under there and actually destroy it. So he tells Domas this, in secrecy, of course, which leads me to believe that he's up to something too, you know? What's his giant master plan in all this? But it's after this scene that we actually realize... Actually, no, before I even get into that, yeah, he tells Domas that he wants them to destroy it. So Domas actually starts to train Hokuro in the sword, which is crazy, you know, because earlier in the episode they were trying to kill each other, and now he's going to teach him, because he has to get stronger too. You know, if they're going to destroy this underground facility, they definitely need to get stronger. So he's going to teach him, which, what an interesting dynamic these two have, you know? It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah. Anyway, what I was saying before was this scene actually goes into the next one where we find out that Bebin is actually alive. He was saved by the two-headed snake that we saw in the previous episode that Bojji met. Because you see, back in the day, he saved the snake's life from these guards that were just being dicks, you know? Like, I get if you don't like snakes, but they were just stabbing it with a spear just because they were bored and all that, and that's fucked. You know, so he actually goes and saves them, and the snake repays the favor in this episode. So that's good. So we know Bebin's back in play. And from our previous episodes, we know he is more on the up and up than our other characters, but what side is he going to fall on this? Because you see, we see that he did have a good relationship with King Boss to an extent. King Boss took a liking to him. So that really makes me think, like, what side of the spectrum is he going to be on, you know? When he finally resurfaces and makes his appearance again, like, is he going to be good? Is he going to help Bojji and all that? Is he going to oppose King Boss? I don't know. He's really up in the air right now, and I'm quite curious to see what's going to happen with him. Like I said, he's like a Professor Snape from, like, Harry Potter. Someone who's portrayed as bad and even has the appearance of someone who's bad, but I think is secretly a good guy. So, I don't know. I think he'll personally help and oppose these evil plans, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. Now we go to Kage and Despa with Bojji. Because we found out earlier in the episode, actually, when Boss made his appearance, he asked the mirror, who is the strongest person in the world right now? And to his disbelief, it's Bojji. Bojji is actually the strongest person in the world right now. Which is insane, because by far, he was the weakest before. He was definitely the weakest, had no strength at all. And at the end of the episode, we see from Despa himself that Bojji's mastered his style. So his training is complete. I'm very curious to see what their training involved, you know? I really hope we get an episode dedicated to, like, what they went through, you know? Because in the previous episode, we saw he cracked the boulder, but we don't know how. And that's kind of left ambiguous in this episode. So hopefully next episode we'll figure that out. Because I'm very interested to know that. Like, what kind of training could he have done to become the strongest in the world? From being, like, the weakest. Despa's training regimen is something we all need to get on at that point. But yeah, our episode ends with us seeing that Bojji is now the strongest in the world, and that's very interesting, honestly. But man, actually no. Now that I'm thinking about it, it ends with us seeing Daida apparently trapped inside of his own body, inside of his mind, because King Boss took over his body, but he never got rid of Daida. Daida's still in there somewhere. He's just locked away inside of his own body. So what's going to happen with him, you know? Is he eventually going to fight back and take over his body? Or is someone going to have to help him? I don't know. It's a very curious thing. But this episode really... It answered some questions we had, but just like every episode, it gave us a couple more. Like, what is Lady Maranjo's, or Margino, I can never pronounce her name right, but what is her real plan in all this? Because we saw throughout this whole episode that she's been around the entire time. So what is her goal? Like, what is her actual goal here? It can't be to just help Boss get power and all that. There's got to be way more behind it than that. That seems too self-sacrificing for her, of all people. And what's Boss's goal? Because he's clearly telling things to his subordinates. He even reveals that he is King Boss inside Daida's body. He reveals that to Queen Hilling at the end of the episode, along with everyone else. So what's his end goal? Because clearly it differs from Lady Maranger's, because she doesn't know what he's telling them. So maybe he's going to try to overtake her. Maybe that could be why he sent Domas to destroy the little lair underground. You know, it's really a head scratcher, but man, we had a lot of good things happen this episode. Our boy Bojji is the strongest in the world now, and I can't wait to see that in practice. But yeah, guys, you guys let me know what you thought of this episode. I thought it was a good episode. The fact that Bebin's alive, you know, Domas kinda, I wouldn't say he had like a character turnaround, but he definitely feels remorse, and I think that's a very good thing, you know? It's like I said in my thumbnail for the previous episode. Domas is a pretty complicated character from the looks of it. I still don't know what side he falls on, though. That's the thing. He's still like a big coin flip. Because we know he feels sorry, but then he has these moments where you don't know. It's like at the drop of a hat, he could like switch sides. And I kind of like that, you know? It makes the show have some tension. And man, guys, I never thought I'd like this show as much as I did. This show is honestly incredible. I love it. I completely understand why everyone's loved it so much. It's so good. It's just a quality series. And it's based on a manga, too. I might check that out. I might do a video soon, guys, with like some manga I've picked up, and we'll just go over it. Ranking of Kings might be one. My Dress Up Darling is... I'm going to read that one, for sure. That one is going to happen, but let me know if you want to see a video like that. I'd love to do that, guys. Like, I need to decorate this room. You know, I do have some anime stuff. Like, I got light novels and some shit like that. I really do need to, like, decorate this room up, you know? We gotta spruce it up. We gotta change things up a bit. So let me know what you guys think. Should I get some posters or all that? I'm not really a figurine kind of guy. That's not really my thing, personally, but I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, but you guys let me know what you thought about this episode. I thought it was a very good episode, personally. I thought we got a lot of information this episode. And like I said, again, just a lot more questions. So let me know what you think. Don't look ahead and cheat. I know the show ended a couple days ago, actually. 23 episodes, too. That's kind of weird. Kind of weird it's 23 episodes and not 24 or 25, but I did see it ended yesterday. Let me know if you guys want me to start doing, like, 2 episodes per video. I could do that. I just wanted to keep it one so we could actually be, like, clear and concise with what happened in one, you know? I don't want to do 2 and then potentially miss an important detail in one of them. But let me know if you guys want me to do 2. You know? Just let me know. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Like I said, don't cheat. Do not cheat. I will know. How will I know? You will know if you cheat. Yeah, guys, let me know what you thought. If you liked the video, leave a like, guys. I see that I have been getting a little more support lately, and I very much appreciate it. So, for real, I want to see some comments, guys. Even if you don't want to talk about the episode, just let me know how your day's going in the comments. You know, we're getting some more views and all that. I want to see some comments. Let's start interacting a bit. But yeah, guys, I think that'll be it for today's episode. I hope you all have a great day, week, month, and year. And I'm very excited for the next episode, which will definitely be coming tomorrow. So look forward to that. We're going to dive more into this mystery. But until then, guys, hope you have a great day. And, yeah, deuces.